Hello friends, good afternoon. Today we will be learning about that how do we uh, adjust a running portfolio and how do we modify the target, the stop loss or adding up the legs to a running strategy. So this is in continuation to our English chapter series 1. Now we will be moving on towards the advancement and controlling of portfolios at a better note. So now let me just delete all these portfolios just for your convenience so that we can easily, have a wide clean look. And let's say, for example, this is a portfolio that I've just opened up. And if I'm talking about the Bank Nifty, and let's say this time I'm not picking up from the predefined, I'm going it simple way that I'm just adding up the legs. Okay. And let's say we are selling a option. Now, for example, I have not given a target, stop loss, anything. It's just a naked time-based straddle fire. So what I'm going to be doing is, for example, is let's say about 2:14. I'm giving the time. Right now it's 2:13. Sorry, it's 2:14. So right now I'm giving the time of 2:15. My end time is 3:15 and square of time is 3:25. Okay, so I'm going to be naming it as RSE1. Now, even in the combined basis, I have not defined anything right now. Okay, so it's an absolutely naked straddle. Okay, totally clean, totally, without any leg base or combined base target and stop loss. So let me just save the portfolio quickly. And now let me just open up the clock for you. So it's like 14 and 38 seconds. So let me just enable it. Now, if you can see, the status is monitoring right now. Now the action would begin in about 15 seconds or so. Let it happen. It's time. You can see that the moment our clock has struck. Okay, let me just close this. Sorry for this interruption. Just 1 second. That's my. Changes its personal alerting system. Alright, sorry for the interruption here. And now, for example, if you can see that my portfolio is executed. So now it's purely about, should I increase the quantity for a better experience? Let's say, for example, I'm just clicking here the part entry and part exit. And I'm adding about, let's say 20 lots. Okay. So we have, in total, we have 21 lots. Now, as you can see, the PNL is moving. Now it is time that, I have taken up a position. Let's say, for example, I'm moving here. Now I feel like that the chart might be, or the trend might be getting into a bearish mode or a bullish mode. That's entirely upon your analysis. How do you go about it? But adjustment is something that the option traders do on the basis of several OI basis or technical analysis basis. So now, for example, looking at the thing, I'm finding that probably the PE is at a stronger side or at a weaker side. So let's say now I feel like that I should define the premium as 20%. Okay, herein. But now the beauty comes in. So we have given a running portfolio a target of premium 20%. But now we also wanted to trail, like for every 1,000 rupee, I wanted to trail by 500. Or let's say if your strategy is running already in profits for that leg, but you want to safeguard yourself. So you can always define that if it reaches 3,000 bucks, lock my minimum profit at 2,000. So you can use the trailing target feature as well. Now the same thing implies for your stop loss as well. Okay. So in case if you want, but this time I'm just changing my stop loss type. So I'm showing you a clubbing pairing kind of a thing. Like for example, for the CE chart, okay, for the CE cell, I'm putting across a stop loss of let's say 38 to 35. So roughly, about, if you have any doubt, okay, if you have any doubt that what exactly it should be, okay, the value, or you can always drag up the mouse, or you can click here help, or you can just enter. So for example, I'm saying 38,300. Okay, that becomes my stop loss for my CE sell leg. Okay, and for the PE leg, which we have sold, let me just check my values. I have defined as 38,000. So underlying I'm selecting as 38,000. So you can see that we can have a clubbed target and stop loss. Like one target I'm calculating on the basis of premium, whereas stop loss I'm calculating on the basis of underlying. So that's entirely upon choice. But is that all? There is lot more to it. Like you can even define a trailing SL, like, you know, for every 20 points of increase you want to trail by 5, or else at every 20% rise you want to trail SL by 5%. So that's entirely upon you. You can do that as well. Most of the times traders are usually hit by the wick based movement. So let's say I'm defining a 5-second or a 3-second wait time to my stop loss value. So in case if 38,300 or 38,000 is touched, and if it is not breached or sustained for 3 seconds, okay, for example that level has been sustained for 3 seconds, I don't want my trade to be exited. So this is how we do leg based adjustment to a running portfolio. Now at the same time, let me just look at the analysis once again. So for my convenience and for your convenience, I'm putting it on side by side basis. Like for example here. Now I feel like that probably this is gonna be a little weaker to me. So I'm gonna be doing is add leg. Okay, and I would be picking up the sell CE. Okay, so now once again I'm defining it as 20%. The moment I'll click on save portfolio, my leg would be immediately added and fired. As you can see here, my leg has been added and it is executed. So this is the PNL right now. Now guys, if you can see here, we are at a decent PNL, I would say for now. Okay, like just as a reference, just as an example, assume that this was probably 5,000 or 10,000, or you want to wait up for some time, we can definitely do that. Right now we are in negative 5,000. Okay, now suddenly you feel like that, you know, you should increase the quantity to the CE because this seems to be more profitable. So let's say I'm just clicking here on the leg basis. Okay, on the plus basis. Now if you can see, my CE level is hit. Okay, my sell CE is absolutely hit because I've defined the stop loss on the basis of underlying and that is breached. Okay, so trailing SL is hit now. Okay, now what is another aspect here? Another aspect is that if I'm looking at this weaker leg, if I wish to exit a little bit out of it, let's say for example the 15 lots, I can simply go click on this icon and move out with the 15 legs. Okay, so you will see the status. So you get a beautiful referential window that it shows and displays every possible crisp data for you to analyze more strategy. But is that it? Now let us look at the newer level in the next chapter of how do we bring a leg into an action by keeping a leg placed as idle. For example, let me just make a copy of the same. Okay, so I'm copying it too. Okay, or let's say RAC2 I'm naming it. It's the same replica that I have created. Okay, now as you can see here, we already have a third leg. I'm also adding up a sell C and a sell PE. Okay, so now on this particular leg, whenever the stop loss is hit or on target, do you see these fields on target, on stop loss? Now this has a lot of exploration, lot of exploring avenues that you can understand. The moment I click, for example, a target or a stop loss, I don't want a position to be ever vacant. I can even click on re-execute, which will keep on doing the same thing. But right now I'm showing you that how do you keep a leg idle, and you want it to come into an action only when you have defined. So for example, I'm saying here, execute leg 3. Okay, execute leg 4. But now do you see this? This idle boxes are not taken. Okay, which means the moment I'll save the portfolio, let me show you the difference. The moment I click on save portfolio and the moment I'll enable it, it will immediately fire up all the 4 legs. Is this what we wanted here? No, we did not want this, right? We wanted something which can simply wait for 2 legs and to come into action. So what did I miss there? You need to do is you need to click the idle legs, okay, to idle part. So now when I click the save portfolio and fire it up, you will see that only 2 of my legs are fired and you can see a idle leg. If any point of a given time you feel that there is a urge or a need for you to manually execute any leg, you can see the green play button. You can simply click that and fire it up. Okay. Now, is that all that we have to take care? Now, simple as that, we have fired up the lots. Now it is waiting for its action to come in because we have defined on target. The same way we can do it on stop loss as well. Now, for example, let me add up more quantity because more quantity looks more beautiful. So I've added about 50 lots. So total 51 lots is what something that we are looking at. Now, when we'll go to the add portfolio, okay, we have defined the 20% leg basis, underlying basis, execute, action, okay. For example, if you select square of portfolio and stop loss, like if any of the legs stop losses it, you just want everything to end, you can simply do that as well. The moment your stop loss is it or your target is it is gonna close that portfolio. So you have multiple choices here to manipulate or to play around with the module and do lot of adjustments. So basically in any of the portfolio, if like suddenly, now see the beauty here. Now just to hedge better, okay, I am buying couple of options, but I'm buying, let's say I'm selecting, if you see this, I have clicked here on near premium Greek basis. So for example, I'm saying that about $200 premium and I'm saying 30 depth. Why 30 depth? Because from ATM to number of strikes that it is supposed to go, so that we find the premium value $200 or closer to that. So that is why I've increased the depth there. Okay. Now look at the beauty here. Okay. But these 2 legs, I am not clicking as idle and I'm gonna be saving it. Do you see immediately before even you could scroll down an option chain, na, the leg is executed here. That is the advantage. That is the beauty of adjusting a portfolio running live. So you get a lot of flexibilities when you are playing around with the Stoxo multi-leg module. Okay. Now, for example, assuming that one is in profit, one is in loss, that is bound to happen when you are playing around. Let's say I want to exit 20 lots, one click. I want to exit that particular leg, about 15 more lots. The PNL would sizably be reduced and this particular strike I'm increasing it up. Okay, so that is entirely your choice. You can do leg wise, you can do portfolio specific, part entry and part exit. Plus, whenever you have fired a strategy, if you can see here, okay, this is the value per lot, this is your CE PNL, this is your PA PNL, maximum PNL was this, and this was the maximum time, whereas the lowest PNL was negative 25,000 and this was the time. So you get pretty much accurate and analytical data so that you can keep a watch of your strategy well and you can play around or craft your strategies better. Okay, so that is the beauty here and that is the advantage that you get to see. But is that all? Once we have done and defined the leg basis target and stop loss, now can we do a profit locking on the multi-leg module, on the overall portfolio sizing? Yes, we can. So let us move to the next chapter of setting up the combined profit, the combined losses, and placing the profit locking feature. But before that, let me just square this off portfolio so that we will be firing up a new portfolio with the new set of conditions so that you can easily explore the new horizons. All right. So let's wait and watch, guys. So now let us move towards exploring the combined profit and combined loss to a running portfolio. But before that, let me just increase the quantity to 10 lots, and this time we are changing it to buying the strategy. Okay, so we have just converted it by C by P, and now we will be buying the strategy. So for now I'm removing this leg basis premium, okay, on the underlying basis, because it was set to the sell side, and now we can improvise it on the buying side as well. So if you can see, my portfolio is running right now, okay, and when we go and look ahead, the charting analysis probably looks like that the bearish trend is gonna be more strong to me. And right now, let's say for example, I'm buying about 20 lots of PE, okay, so I have enhanced my quantity of the bearish side, okay. Now if you can see here, that let's assume that we are at a profit of 2,000 bucks, which looks pretty much soothing, because just buying options about 10 lots of each would be quite less, okay. The margins or the required would be probably in less than about 1.5 lakhs or under 2 lakhs on a higher side if I consider it. So for example, I've just defined it here, and this is what it is running. Now let's say if you are getting a good PNL at 400 or 2500 right now, as you can see, but you don't want to lose this, you know, you want something to be safeguarded. So how are we gonna set and safeguard my combined premium as well as lock the profit? So we are at a beautiful profit of 4500, 5000 cross. So now suddenly let's be quick, guys, because we are at 7500. Now this profit looks really lucrative, okay. So what I'm doing is I've come to target type, I've come to the combined profit, and let's say I'm defining the max profit of 10,000 bucks. But right now if you can see that I'm at 8,000. So what I'm doing is, if my profit reaches 8,000, just lock it at 6,000 or lock it at 7,000. So any point of a given time, I'll have to increase this. Any point of a given time, if it is going to 8,000 and coming down to 7,000, please lock it, okay. So now I have got a beautiful added feature or an advantage here, because at least I'm relaxed that at least if my strategy is not working out, still I will be firing up a square off at 7,000. Plus, let's make it more. Now, see, the moment the PNL touched 7,000, you can see in the below grid logs, combined target log, the moment my PNL touched, immediately it has executed the order, okay. So in flick of seconds is what Stoxo plays around. In flick of seconds, your option prices move, your PNL moves really fast, and you really need a good execution system. Unfortunately, any web-based system would have taken at least about 10 seconds to place or fire this order. Forget about matching up the speed of execution. I mean, before the PNL is getting updated, your level is already gone, and that is already executed and fired by the Stoxo. That is the advantage that you get when you are playing around with the Stoxo. So now, for example, let us look at another aspect. Now this again looks lucrative to me. So let me just fire up one more time. And I'm sure that I'm gonna be making up a bit of more money out of it. So now it is time to understand not just the profit locking that we have saw, okay, or we have seen. I also want my stop loss to be set, but now I'm playing in very smart, you know, because I'm more stronger on the PE side. So for example, let's say this is the candle high, so 38,100, assuming that. Now guys, this is a beautiful feature. I will come to the combined stop loss. I've selected loss and underlying range, okay, and I'm saying that if my underlying goes above 38,100, close everything, okay, and if it goes below, so for example, let's say if it goes below 37,923, okay, 37,923. So this is a loss and underlying range. Combined loss you have to define, so you can define any abstract value like 1 lakh, 10 lakh, which you know it is not gonna reach. Okay, so now I have defined it here. Now the beauty is, if this red candle high is breached, my portfolio would be squared off. Okay, so should I move to the 1 minute chart and set a closer value? Is that something that we must do? 38,071 and 37,996. Chalo, let's do it. 38,000, 37,990 and 38. No, it's already at 984. So 38,025 for example. 37,970 and 38,025, and that's what we have done. We have quickly moved it and set it across. Okay, now my level was hit. The combined level of stop loss of 37,970 was hit at underlying 37,960. The moment I've set it, now look at the flick of seconds of trade or milliseconds that the stock so works. It is that powerful system. Okay, now let's say for example, let me reset it and let me fire it up again, so that we can understand, because we were doing the changes, we were working on the changes, and that is the beauty again here, that our portfolio is completed. Okay, once again my stop loss is hit and I'm out of the trade. So for example, if I change that value, not just that, this is one aspect to look at things. Okay, this is one aspect that we have worked on, a beautiful feature called loss and underlying range and setting up. So I've shown you, like, you know, we can set up, and that's how we can do a lot of portfolio adjustment the way we expect it to be. Now if you can see here, my portfolio is running. This is not executed. Let me make a copy RAC3. Okay, so when you see that we have defined here, let's pull this off now. Now it is time that we go by the underlying movement basis, or let's say I go by the movement of negative 0.2 delta or 0.2 delta. I can do that, but for now I'm saying a combined loss. Now combined loss is quite a neutral thing, wherein I can simply, you know, look at the stop loss. I have defined a combined loss of maximum $2,000 or 5,000. Okay, and at the same time I want to define a profit stop loss trailing, like for every $2,000 trail my SL by 500 rupees. Okay, so it's a very smart way to trade. You know, that's how the flexibilities are offered. I mean, basically Stoxo killed the need of complex Python codings. No need to pay exorbitant cost, and lot of features have been so simplified. It has been amplified to your requirements, and most of the professional traders prefer to work with Stoxo because of these advancements that come at a very simple note. So that's the advantage, guys, that you get with the Stoxo. And if you can see that we are also trailing here beautifully, because we have defined a stop loss trailing as well. Now that is being monitored, that is being observed. The moment it hits, it is gonna come into action. So I guess I have increased the value a lot. Let's say at every $1,000 I want it to be 500. This looks more logical, right? And maximum stop loss also, let me reduce it. So do you see that I'm constantly editing it? You can do a lot of adjustments in this fashion to any of your portfolios. And best part, Stoxo doesn't restrict you with having n number of portfolios. You can simply work around and play around with the multi-leg module as much as you want. And don't be surprised if I again tell you that all of this that you are seeing right now is on the live trade simulator that allows you to test risk-free and explore the world of options without risking a single penny into the market. So do you see the beauty here? That there is profit locking, there is stop loss trailing, there is every possible feature that has been provided to you. So now this is not it. There is a lot more, but we will be covering it up in phases because now this video has been extended. So this series has basically been split across into 3 or 4 versions depending upon the timeline, and it's almost about 30 minutes by now. So for example, if you can see, it's at negative 1387. Should I increase the lot just to add more spice or more faster execution? So let's say I'm increasing 20 loss. So even if it's a loss, immediately it will fire it up. Okay. That's how the option strategies, that's how the option P&L moves in really hot, really fast. And that's how it should be. Okay. So we have defined a trailing here. We have not gone into the profit yet. So if I don't want that to be there, I can simply remove it. Now, do you see that? My stop loss is hit. Okay, because I have kept a dual node to it. Now, let me refire it. So let's say, for example, this portfolio is completed and suddenly I feel like I should... See, do you see this re-execute button? The moment I click that, it is gonna re-execute. The same portfolio has been re-executed. Now, how do you set up? Now, this is another vertical. That how do you set up a combined profit, combined loss, or even do profit locking, or even do stop loss weight on all these portfolio that has been fired. So like for example, let me remove this. Okay. Yeah. So now let me fire this one too. Okay. So this all thing is controlled by a strategy tag, which is nothing but the default. So all my portfolio's P&L right now is at negative 4,400. So means whatever portfolios I have fired by this tag. Now this tag is defined here. This tag is something. You see this default here? This tag is something that controls that in which user account or accounts the order has to be fired. So if you're playing with the multi, you can simply click on the tick boxes. If you are with the single, you can just leave it to single. So that is the advantage that you get to see here. Now, if you can see that my P&L right now is at negative 4,000, but I fired up the strategy. But now I want to say that, you know, if it reaches a maximum loss of 10,000 overall portfolios, okay, and I have defined the maximum loss wait time. So in case, you know, if it's like a flick movement, a freak movement, and my stop loss was hit, so I wanted to wait for 3 seconds or 2 seconds, you know, and then fire it up. So that is the advantage that you get to see here. Now, one of our portfolios is completed, so we just have 2 portfolios running right now. So let me re-execute them so that we quickly have more levels coming in. Okay. Now, if you can see here, my negative P&L is negative 903. So let me just put across as 3,000 bucks. Is that good? Yep. So this is on the overall profit. You also get a feel like profit locking, in which the same way you can define, like if your profit reaches 2,000, you want to lock it at 1,000. If your profit increases by 400 and you know you want to trail by 100 rupees, you can simply do that as well. Okay. So like for example, I'm saying, for example, now I have defined it to negative 1,500 maximum loss. Do you see the max loss is hit? Immediately the message has come. Okay. And the P&L again went down. Did it square off? No, it did not. Because at the particular time, once again, my stop loss is hit like 1,500, but it is still waiting for my 3 seconds of time. So that is the advantage that you get to see. Do you see this constant messages coming? I mean, you might ignore this, or probably any of the system might get trapped with it, but not with the Stoxo. Stoxo is blunt. It is really crisp and precise and very fast when it comes to execution and logic calculations. So that is the advantage, and this is how you control a combined profit and a combined loss on the overall strategies fired. Now this can even include your trades coming from Excel, Amy Broker. So anything that is coming on the Stoxo with this tag, okay, either from TradingView or anything, you can set a combined profit, a combined loss for the overall trades that are being fired. So that is the beauty here, that is the advantage. Now let me just pull it across to $1,000 negative. So if it is sustaining, let me clear up the logs for you. If it is sustaining, now see this, max loss, remove for strategy, because the PNL couldn't sustain 3 seconds. This is how the option strategies work, and that's how fast the movement is. So we have given you several protocols to help control your trades better and elevate yourself and your options trading to the next level. So that's the beauty here, guys. This was the chapter series 2. We hope that this would be really helpful to you to understand that how can you play around with the multi-leg modules. We would be covering up with more series and more small chapters to help you understand all the possible multi-leg features. So thank you, friends. Thank you for watching. And stay tuned, do subscribe our YouTube channel. But before I leave, there is one more beautiful thing that we have introduced, is something that are the... So before I leave, now these are beautiful strategies that we tested about RSC1, RSC2, RSC3 breaks, right? Let's say, for example, I mean, this was the live simulation, guys. I mean, this is what we did, okay, and this is what we have explored right now. So let me export the portfolios. Like, you can share your logic if you want to, or you want to send it to your friend or someone. Your strategy you can protect with the password, for example. And now let me just export my portfolios. Why am I doing that? I'll come to that part. So let me just export my portfolio as Port2, I'm naming it, and it's on desktop. So that's it. So now we move on to our new breakthrough, a curtain raiser by the Backinzo team, powered by Algobaba, is a platform which is the most advanced backtesting platform designed ever. It works on more granular data, unlike the conventional web-based systems that you see into the market. So honestly, if you're done living with the Stone Age, Backinzo is the time for you. So let's move on, ladies and gentlemen, to the window of Backinzo, and that's how the logo looks like. We have given it to our Stoxo users. So it's time for you to elevate yourself and move out of the Stone Age, because this is the modern era. So now, for example, let's say I'm deleting all the portfolios that I have. Let the Stoxo be doing its own part and let us focus on something more smarter. Okay. So let's say I had named Port2. Now it is asking me for the password that I've defined. So let me select them one by one and I will import them. Okay. So you can see the same portfolios, I have brought it to Backinzo. So now, guys, Backinzo has two verticals to it. One, what we showed you with the Stoxo. We'll show you the raw power side by side so that you understand even better. Okay, now all our portfolios are done here. Okay, on the left hand side Stoxo, as well as on the right hand side of the Backinzo. Okay, let me just set my window up so that I can show you, or rather give you, a more elevated experience. So this is done, this is set. These portfolios on the left side has come to our Backinzo. Now let's say, for example, how did my strategies perform yesterday? Was I logical enough? I just need to check it for one day. So let's say, for example, which was 27th of September. Today is 28th September. I'm going to simulate. So now, for example, I'm gonna be clicking here all the strategies, and I'm saying that go ahead and click the... So it's asking me to recalibrate. I'll just press the red icon. And guys, this is how the market has opened up right now. This is the backtest simulator. Now I'll have to increase the speed here because the time is little of the later time, we have defined the portfolio. Now I'll just reduce the speed just to show you how does the market move. This is the first of its kind live backtest simulator. So anything that you have executed with the Stoxo and you wish to check it out on a simulator of any previous day up till 3 years, you can test it out. Okay. Now, you can see the beauty here. The time right now is 14 seconds at 27 September 22. So that means on 28th September 2:51 PM, I have recapped the market of yesterday. That is the advantage that you get to see. So it's more learning, more enhancement, and plus all the adjustments that I showed you live with the Stoxo, you can do that here as well. Like you want to improvise yourself, go ahead, you can do that. Now, I'm just stopping this portfolio. For example, as I told you, if you're done living in the Stone Age, then move out of the conventional web-based systems which are compromising your strategy over third-party servers, which Backinzo guarantees that your strategy stays within your PCs, within your HTMLs. Let me show you. So now, for example, these are the 3 portfolios that I'm about to fire up now with the Backinzo from 1 September to 27 September. Okay. I'll click on the play button. It is asking me for the name. So let's say I'm naming it RC1. What is parallel processing? Speed you can keep up to 1 and 2. Parallel processing is, let's say, when you're testing up a lot of portfolios like as we speak, and on Backinzo we have people working and testing with 400 portfolios at the same time, because basically we don't believe in eating up the credits again and again. Okay, so that's not the motto of neither Alibaba nor it is the motto of Backinzo. We have worked for the betterment of Indian trading industry and we would continue doing so. So now if I've defined the parallel processing to be as 2, depending upon your PC configuration, we have defined conditions here. You can read those. It splits across the processes to calculate more faster and give you more accurate results. That's what is called as parallel processing. So for example, I've saved it. Now it is moving, it is checking, it is preparing the reports for me. Okay, so it is doing its analysis. Let us give it some time, couple of seconds. So we are at 26 September. Do you see this beautiful clock? Now this clock is a ray of hope, I would say, that it looks beautiful, and at the same time I get to know that where and which date and what time is it analyzing.
Backtest completed for RC1.
We have a beautiful voice coming up. So I'll go to the backtest results, and this was my strategy, and this is it. I've got the results. Now these reports come in HTML reports. They are way advanced than the dumb PDF reports. So as I told you, if you're done living in Stone Age, then Backinzo is fine. As well as Stoxo is already a pioneer when it comes to the execution. So now, if you can see here, you get to see all the correlation metrics, the drawdown, the cumulative PNL, weekly PNL, DNL. You get to see all the detailed reports, beautiful reports, okay? And simple as that. Now, for example, let's say we tested it from 1 to 27 September. Let's say suddenly I feel like that I should go and check it out from 10 September to 27 September. This would be my PNL, sir. I don't have to go again and again and keep on backtesting the same thing. I mean, as I told you, we really don't have the ideology to eat up your credits like a data hogger. Okay, so we really don't have that policy within our organization, and neither do our products work in that model. Okay, so that's the advantage, because when you work for the betterment of a trading industry, the greed is out and you really focus on the features and the development of a product rather than eating up the pockets of the traders. So till date, this was the scenario of the market. But now onwards, with the Stoxo and Backinzo, Stoxo, we have already changed the thought processes within the market and the execution speed. Most of you would be knowing. With the Backinzo, we are in to change the backtesting vertical, because we want you to explore more, become the hunters, learn more, evaluate, evolve yourself with the passage of time. Now, for example, when I've run the strategy from 14 to 27 September, let's say even for the days, let's say if I skip the strategy on Friday, let's say if I skip the strategy on Thursday, let's say if I skip the strategy on Tuesday. So only Monday if I would have run the strategy, for example. Do you see how am I controlling the dates? I get an opportunity simply to see that exactly, craft out my point that how I can control my strategies better. Now, suddenly, if I feel like, what if I remove the RSE3? What if I just manage with one portfolio? Do you want me to go and again backtest? No, I really don't have that much of time. For example, this is the RSE2. Do you see? So, when I combined RSE1, RSE2, my profitability just on Monday's trading increased. Now I can increase the days and see where do I stand. So if I've traded on 5 days of the week, this is the scenario. So that means my third portfolio was giving me an issue. What if I just remove the RSA2 and I've added the RSE3? So now what is my profitability? I have gone into negative. This is the refresh icon. You can simply click that. So which means that RSE1 and RSE2, that means twice the trade that I'm doing at specific timings, is much more profitable to me. And this is how my HTML reports can work out. Now, if I just remove this, why am I showing this in this learning series? Because when it comes to the adjustment part, you should also know that how you can fire it live, you can execute. And that's what we call it, that this is your new base. Backtest, analyze, simulate, and execute with your lovely StockZone. So whatever you backtest, you can simply export it and import it in StockZone. Whatever you run live, you can simply export it and import it at Backinzo. So they both work in hand, giving you a beautiful ecosystem to work around with your several strategies and explore the learning. And in the coming days, you will be seeing many more advancements to it. So thank you, friends. Stay tuned, stay subscribed. There would be a lot of more videos coming in this chapter series too. So thank you for watching.